Good evening, it's Norma Cowie here, and it's just before 7 p.m. when we begin our mental mind treatments. It was been a beautiful, beautiful day out here, and you can actually see the sun behind me coming through my blinds, not even hiding it. And it is hot. I had to put the cooler on, so if there's background noise, it's because I finally put my air conditioning on because it's really quite muggy, but it's beautiful. It is a beautiful day. I had to drive up to a city in front ahead of us, but it's about an hour and a half away. Taking a friend up there today, and the drive along the lake was just magnificent, and just so thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was sitting here. Actually, I had a little sleep, and I was sitting here thinking, and then I went, Norma, you've got to get ready. It's like sometimes this evening one just really kind of takes me out of almost unawares, but I'm here, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what you put up on the chat as to what exactly you're wanting. I've got a list here as usual, not a very big list, but a small list of people that would who contact me via texting and or email with what they're wanting. So, yeah, so it's been a great week in many ways. In fact, I got a little bit of sunburn here because I where I live, I don't get a lot of sun. Although right now you wouldn't know that because my flowers, I have to go out and water them after because they're really getting a lot of sunshine. Anyway, yesterday I took myself down by the lake and with my book, and I sat outside on a bench. And if you have Facebook, I put a couple of pictures out of the light looking at the lake. And now I have a couple of other pictures to put out because today the friend I took north had a cherry tree. So I took some pictures of some cherries, which I haven't put up yet because I had came home and had a nap. But anyway, besides that, I ate a lot of cherries. So that felt really, really, really good. So it's it was an excellent day today for me in lots of ways. Got several things done. And tonight, as I said, I have to water my plants that are looking just beautiful, and they'll be so happy to get the sunshine from this evening sun because they don't always get a lot of sun where they are. And it's nice for me too. I would normally be sitting out there with my book and reading, enjoying the late evening sunshine and the warmth. I really love the warmth. But in the meantime, we're here to do some prayers, which I call mental mind treatments. And I see that my stalwart Karen I just want to read what she says. I'm spring cleaning and I would love a treatment to stay motivated. Blessings. Oh, I know. Yes, spring cleaning and motivation. Uh, sure, let's do it. Let's do it right now. So, for those of you that are new, that are not familiar with what I do, I close my eyes to come in. I some people would call it channeling, but I connect with the universal love force, and I speak my word. And that's what I was taught with spiritual mind treatments. And I realized I often see other things besides just my own words, and my psychic abilities kick in sometimes. So I am calling mine mental mind treatments. So because no matter what, they're there to change the thinking, to hopefully get deep enough into the subconscious that the programming is actually changed, which is, of course, a lot of the work that I actually do. So okay, so Miss Karen, here we go. I know that there is one power and one essence, and that I am connected, as we all are, to this essence. And even though we don't always acknowledge it or allow it to be within us, I can and do speak my word for others. And this moment, I'm speaking my word for Karen, in that as she does her spring cleaning, she is motivated and feels enlivened, charged, aware, knowing more and more that if this gets done, it allows even more things to come into the world and to the life, because her mind isn't full of, you might say, guilt or remorse because it hasn't been done yet. Spring cleaning is an important part of a ritual, a yearly ritual for a lot of us. And knowing that there is this job which needs to be done, I know that there is light and love within doing the job, of allowing the job to get done with ease and grace, to celebrate every little aspect of it, to know that by doing the action, it is an expression of your own love of yourself in your home environment. I feel it's the lovingness of the job. It is the knowing the end result will bring solace, would bring more peacefulness, will bring more sense of achievement. And that sense of achievement can then be put forward into other things and other ways of knowing where and the direction that you're heading in. I give thanks in knowing that this achievement, this energy, this awareness that comes in for Karen, that there is just a sense of relief that the job is done and it's been well done. And it just allows space and room for so much more in the mental, on the mental area, and the awareness of where you're heading and where you're going. And I give thanks of knowing this. I give thanks in knowing that the clearing that will go on mentally, which will allow you so much more. I give thanks and I release this thought out into the universe, knowing it is done, that the spring cleaning becomes easy, enlightening, and opens up many other doors for you. And so I say, and so it is. Thank you. And then I see Kayla is actually on there, and she also sent me something. So Kayla, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your email. And I want to thank you also for writing in, because I know sometimes that isn't always easy for you to do. Anyway, so let us now concentrate on Kayla. I know, as we're all connected into the one and the whole, that there is a tiredness that comes many times, and it like it seeps into the cells, and it seeps into the bones, and it seeps into everything. And we wake up in the day, and very shortly it feels like, oh, did I sleep? And often what happens in the evening, a sleep cycle, is that the mind also gets really busy trying to sort other things out. What I sense here, Kayla, is that you work to do a lot of work while you're sleeping, and that the mind is busy trying to figure things out. But I don't know if the answers come through to you in consciousness when you awaken. And so the tiredness that is there is because your mind has not had a rest. And so I know the importance of the mind going into a deeper state. I'm not going to go into all the different states there is, but I just wanted to go deeper into a peaceful state of regeneration. So the regeneration happens. And the awareness is that you do not have to heal and understand every single thing that goes on in your circle. I feel that your mind feels like, because you're a healer, which I know people, is that you should be able to help. You should be able to do. You should be able to. It's a lot of shoulds in there. But the point is, when you go to bed to sleep, you need to go down to those deeper levels to revitalize yourself, so that in waking hours, you can figure this out 3 times as fast. It's right there. Oh yeah, right. This is what this is, and this is what is happening. And so consequently, I just want to say, allow yourself, it's almost like when I say a break, I don't mean like breaking, but like give yourself a break to rest, to truly rest, and to let go the need and the desire and the want to figure it all out, or to, it might be like and I've heard people say this, oh, when I sleep, I go out and I do my healing work. I'm just going to say this is not the time for that right now. The time now is for you to be able to rest and recuperate so that there is energy in the waking hours to do that which you wish to do. I give thanks for the clarity of this. I give thanks for the knowingness of this. I give thanks of the awareness of this, because what it feels like to me is that I've just, what would you say, let go of a huge issue, a huge sense that lies heavily on you, and the feeling that you are responsible and need to be able to do these things for others. And you do a lot for others, but I think that needs to be aware of the consciousness of when you're conscious, not when you're sleeping. Sleeping is for regeneration, and you need the regeneration. So in that, there'll be more energy, there'll be more clarity, answers will come quicker and easier. It will be just much better for you and for everybody else. So I give thanks in the knowing, I give thanks in the knowingness where the tiredness is coming from. I give thanks in knowing that energy and enthusiasm will be there as you allow yourself to sink into those deeper levels and not try to do it subconsciously, mentally, figure everything out, and just allow. And I trust that in the knowingness of this, that you will find ease, comfort, energy, and awareness in your waking hours and your waking time, and great sense of release and knowingness as you sleep. So it is regenerating. You need regeneration. And I just feel really good about this. So I'm just going to say to the universe, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I release this thought, I know that it is true, it is done, that Kayla will move into deeper regenerative sleeps so that she has more energy and enthusiasm. And I give thanks in the knowing of this by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. I just got an itchy nose, so I'm going to, right here, so I'm going to scratch it. It might look funny, but sorry, it's annoying when you things. Oh, Karen replied to my treatment just a moment ago and says, I just love the support, Karen. I really, really, really appreciate it. Great insights as always. I will keep it up. That's the spring cleaning, since I've got you on my side. Yeah, certainly. I know. Same thing here, but is to do. Now, so moving on to what I have received is Mr. C, young man I know. And what I write here, because I was given some directions of one of the key here is to have his health back in prime condition. So let me just tune into the vibration of Mr. C, we'll say. I know there was one power and one essence, and I know that in the connection of the one power and the essence, what my sense is here is that there is a disconnect. There is a disconnect of what one desires and wants and chooses, and to the knowingness and the oneness. It's as though there is an overabundance of being responsible for where everything is. Therefore, what happens is that there is an overlay of guilt, an overlay of regret, an overlay of not being perfect. Like, that sense of I'm not perfect. It has to be my fault. This is an over sense of self-responsibility. And it kind of sits on me in that I'm looking for how to let this go. What is needed and required here is the picture of the bigger power, knowing that health is often an offshoot of those things that are occurring on many different levels that we don't always know or are aware. But I feel this is a lot of self-beating up for not being perfect, for not having everything the way this young gentleman feels it should be. And what's happening is that the healing process that he's so desiring is getting thwarted, is getting misaligned, is becoming more and more difficult to move it smoothly. I'm a great believer in energy being smooth. My transformation clients hear me go on about that a lot. So now flowing, let's get it flowing. I feel this is the same with this young gentleman's health. There's no flow. It's like there is a blockage that stops the awareness of his, I'm going to use the word function, and it's not bodily function, it's about functionality in life. There's pressure, there's a sense of I have, it's tightness, it gets tight. It's like I have to do this, I have to get this done, and if I don't, there's something wrong with me. Kind of ideas, and that's what I'm seeing and feeling, because I'm not free flowing. I'm not, and it's like everything is. You know how a sewer backs up, like when we get a clog for whatever reason, and it backs up. And I feel that this is a lot of what's happening here, is that things are backed up, and I want to go back to 2.5. Boy, that's about when COVID started. About 2.5, yeah, 2.5 years ago. It's like there's a blockage that came, and now that blockage is demonstrating itself in his life. If he could look back to when things maybe in his life began to feel a little out of control, and it may also be concern for someone else in there. Because if the feeling of being over responsible, is just as bad as being under responsible. When we feel over responsible, that we should be able to do this and that and the other, and why can't we? That also creates these issues that we see everything clogging up. And so consequently, within the clog, I'm going to call it clogging up, I'm just going to do some of my work I do in the transformation, where I'm going to put in some of my magic potions, which are not made, they're made over my head, to clear the blockages, to clear the blockage out. I'm just going to move more into doing some little bit what we call psychic surgery, spiritual surgery, which just to clear this, undo this blockage, so that things can start flowing, so things can start moving and working and being. And I'm just going to breathe that out. This is why I call it mental mind treatment, and because I move into sometimes other areas of my expertise, so we can get a clearing there. So, okay, now I'm down to 18 months ago. There was another hiccup there. So we're going to, again, get some energy flowing here. And again, over responsibility, taking on others' energy, taking on the feeling that somehow or rather he can make it right. And not realizing that every person has their own elements to work through. You can be supportive, but you don't have to take it on. It doesn't help them, and it only makes you worse. Okay, now we're coming up to 9 months ago. Again, another little knot. Skinny is flowing now, at least, but I've still got a knot at 9 months ago. And as we breathe that out, put another little bit of dissolvent in there. It's like letting go of being over responsible for everyone else. Letting go for being over responsible when things don't flow. But it can flow when you're carrying other people's burdens, or other people's worries, or other people thinking that it's up to you to find a solution, when it's really up to the other person. So I'm just getting a flow back in here, so we can get his health back in a flowing way. And I can just see the smile on the face, the ease, the body ease that's going, as everything sort of just falls into place. A lot of letting go of so much stuff that is not his, and just letting everything flow away, and being his own divine being, knowing that he is responsible for his life, his responses, his awareness. And you can care. It's not that you don't care. It's not, but you can't carry other people's burdens. You cannot do it. And so it's about letting go and be supportive without taking it on. Big life lesson. So in knowing that there is now a clearing here, in knowing that the health can respond, the body can respond, I give thanks. I give thanks in knowing the magic of our physical selves. I give thanks in knowing that all is so well that I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Oh boy, on that one for sure. Okay. Just look to see. Nothing more new. Now I've got a Miss M. Now, I'm doing this mental mind treatment because sometimes people have a hard time accepting their beauty, their inner strength, their inner desire. And this prayer is about accepting our inner beauty, our inner desire to feel whole and complete. The knowing that the energy exists. When we know the energy exists, very often we don't trust it because we don't trust ourselves. We feel like we don't deserve it. We don't really are worthy of it, which is similar to deserving. And so it comes to the bottom line of really recognizing and accepting our own beauty. You know, in our society, sometimes, we see these magazines and we have all these TV people and the models and everything as how we're supposed to look or be or whatever. And if we add that and we can come out feeling very, very short listed, like, well, I'm not like that, therefore I must be no good, or, I mean, I was the ugly duckling when I grew up. I was tall and thin, and and so I know those feelings that we can get because it seems like everybody else is prettier, more effervacious. Is that the word? I don't know. Has more. I was kind of an inner contemplative type personality, and I understand where we go with that, and I understand that over the years I had to let all that go and realize and accept that I was myself. And I feel here with Miss M is to accept our individuality. All the shells on the beach, all the rocks in a river, they're not the same. It would be pretty boring if we were all the same, if we looked the same and acted the same. And unfortunately, very often I know a lot of mothers have come very worried about their young, especially their girls more than their guys, with the idea of that this person is the ideal, but not giving any credence to what you might say their heart, their compassion, their awareness. It's all about how you look. So when I do this kind of ambling as I'm moving into the whole element of Miss M, is really about accepting her inner beauty and her inner desire to feel whole and complete. That's it. Let the desire go and just be it. Be it, and know all your talents, all your strengths. That's where you look. You don't look at what you don't have. You look at what you do have. And as you look at what you do have, your connection to this wonderful, loving force that is there for you every step of the way comes much easier. Comes much easier. And that you're able to relax because you accept yourself, your beauty, your abilities, and all of that which is. So I give thanks in knowing that Miss M will accept her beauty and her inner desire to feel whole and complete. I give thanks. I am filled with gratitude in knowing that. And it may be a journey of longer than perhaps we would like, but it's every step that we take in the realization of who we are and what we are and where we are and how it all fits. It is the magnificence of it. So I let this thought go out into the universe, knowing that it is done, that our Miss Am accepts who she truly is, her beautifulness, and feeling whole and complete in the lovingness of the universe. And so it is. Amen. So it is. Oh, okay. Moving along. One more. Oh, I nearly forgot my first person because Kayla had come on. So I'm going to zip back. I've got two more. This is for Miss A. Again, a person I know well, who has been having trouble with her lungs. And so in this treatment, we want the lungs to be clear and the healing. She said, mentions her teeth as well. So that's often fits all with that. So and already I feel my throat going, which, why? Because there's congestion. I'm moving into Miss A's vibration. And already I can feel it here, right here. Okay. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know it's in all of us, and it's in every other thing that exists. This love vibration is everywhere. And I also know that situations happen where we can contact and take on situations which affect our lungs, our mouths, and all those elements of breathing. I know also that it is the willingness of letting go of all the stress and strain, worry, concern, anxiety. What other words are there? There is the letting go, the breathing out of all things that we have held, whether they be secret, whether they be a sort of speeding up on self because we're not where we want to be or how we want to be. But it is the acceptance of the self fully as we breathe in the love of the vibration and allow ourselves to heal effectively through every cell of our body. Our lungs are important in the breathing in and out, breathing in the divine, breathing out everything else. And if we have one moment of doubt, if we have one thought of doubt, regret, guilt, and we don't forgive ourselves for that, sometimes the lungs begin to tighten. And I get tears in my eyes thinking about that because I know this person. And I know how much the desire is to be with the divine. But often being with the divine means that we have to come at peace with this world that we live in and all its nuances and all of its stress and strains. We have to come at peace with it. And that isn't always easy. But as we breathe out those things we do not like, and we breathe in the peace, we breathe in the love and the acceptance that the universe has for us. Whether you look at it as the Great Mother, whether you look at it as Allah, whether you look at it as God or Jesus, doesn't matter to me, because the force is the force. The love is there. And often deep down, we have a thought that maybe we're not good enough, that maybe we messed up. I don't know anybody who hasn't messed up sometime in their lives. We weren't born knowing it all. We weren't born without taking on what parents believe, society believes, other things believe. So we screw up. But it is the art of knowing we are so loved that the judgment isn't held. We hold the judgment within ourselves. It is the knowing that love is there, and we need to forgive ourselves. It's not about being forgiven. We're already forgiven because we just loved. But it's us letting go of all those things. Oh man, have I beaten myself up in my life? And I know others do too. Why did I say that? Why did I use that tone? Was I this? Why was I that? And I have learned the only way through all that is forgiving myself for not being some ideal that I felt at that moment I should be. I'm not saying that I've got everything written down, but I'm saying that in the divine light of being, that we must let go of our judgments of ourselves. We must let go of those small thoughts that live in deep in the subconscious. They're like weeds. And expunge them forever. Because it is the acceptance of how much we are loved. It is the acceptance of how much we are cherished. And the allowing of that makes the difference. And you can hear my throat, like I wasn't like this a moment ago. You can hear my throat because so often and I'm in the person's vibration, so often it is hard to let go of those thoughts because we feel we're not good enough, we haven't done enough, or we screwed up here, or we screwed up there. Those thoughts do not support wellness, do not support health and well-being. So the healing that comes really begins with each one of us, and I know it's for Miss A, but we're going to talk about all of us. It begins with us letting go, because there's several things here where it is showing we have health issues because we have not let go. And I've been there. But the sooner we let go and move into that loving force, and people, there's pictures of the Earth Mother loving us. So there's pictures of other things where we're loved. It's for you. It's not for everyone else. It's for you. But you got to allow it in. You got to take it in and let the lung, for those of you that have lung congestion, I got it in my throat right now, to allow it just to move through and take it and be it. Not everybody wants to hear that we're responsible. But really, we are. And you know how I'm going to tell you a story that I came to that. I came to the realization that one day I was growing up with older parents and lots of aunts and uncles dying. And so I had a real interest in death and dying, which is why being a reincarnationist and everything came about. But I came to the conclusion that one day I was going to die and I had to answer for myself. Nobody else could answer for me. Now, I was still in the old Christian model where, you're judged and all that stuff. But the truth is you need to be able to be forgiving yourself, and you need to allow that beautiful energy of love in, so that parts of us, so when we go to that place, we can go willingly into the love and be at one with that. We don't want regret. We don't want guilt. That's the two things we clear in past life regression works that I do. We clear those, because that is what keeps us coming back and coming back and coming back, because we haven't cleared. We haven't forgiven ourselves. We haven't let go of the emotionality that is there. So there is a journey for each one of us, for sure. So Miss A, you have my love. You have my desire for you to be able to breathe and your teeth feel good. But look at what you're chewing on. What is it that you deeply regret or wish it was different? Let it go. Give it over to the mother. Give it over to the God, whatever you want. And I know you think and believe in the divine mother, so give it to her. She'll take it. She'll transform it with love and light and free you up. And I wish you well, my friend. I really wish you well. And I'm just going to say, and so that is, I have one more I have to do. And it's a Miss C. And this is about letting go of procrastination and believing in the self. How many, oh man, I can be a great procrastinator. So I relate to this one. So not only am I doing this prayer for Miss C, I'm also doing it for myself and anybody else out there. We call it piggybacking. Please piggyback on this one. I know within the power of that is, I also know that I am loved beyond measure. And I know that procrastination for Miss C and or for other people who have a tendency to procrastinate is because we don't think we're going to do it right. Often the thought is we can't do it right, or it's not, oh, we've tired, or we're this or that. But it is the believing in the self and the believing in the ideas. Very often we procrastinate because we have this vision of what we want to do, then we're scared we're not going to do it, number one. Or we're not sure what steps we should take. There's many things about moving forward. But the key is with procrastination is that we just don't go anywhere. And again, guess what? Things stockpile up. And then the stockpiling up. And so I know for Miss C, this treatment's for, that there is a feeling of coming into self that realizes that what can be done can be done. And what can't be done can't be done. To me, in this case, it's about knowing what you can do and what you can't do. You could be procrastinating because the reality is you can't do what you think you can. You just can't do it, whether it's strengths or whether it's just you don't have the skills or whatever. And sometimes we just have to forgive ourselves for that as we move forward. Sometimes we procrastinate because we have so much mental stuff going on here. There's no way we can see our way through all the mental. I can't, just not for me. All these 1,000 little thoughts you can have that block and stop. And so you think, oh, well, I'll wait till I have all the plan. Well, you can know your end, as long as you know your end result and you know the first step you need to take. That's all you ever need to know, because life will guide you exactly to where you want to go, and the elements of where you are. So I just give thanks and knowing for any person that procrastinates, that they really understand it's based on fear of the result, the fear of the result not being what they want. But there's no trust in that. And eventually we have to come to trust life. We have to know life is trustworthy. So I give thanks as I let this thought go out into the universe. So it is done for Miss C for sure. Okay, I just noticed Kayla had written me a note here thanking me for the prayer, the rejuvenation, energetics, deep sleep. Here we come. Great. This is wonderful work with Mr. C, which there's a connection. Thank you for what you are doing with and for us, which I appreciate, because I do appreciate that for sure. Now, just a couple of little announcements. This coming Saturday, I'm doing mini readings for 20 minutes at $50. If anyone's interested, you can email me, please, so I can get you on the list. There's a few spots left. Also, what else have I got going? I've got a couple of things happening and going. Can't remember them all. But I'll be back Wednesday with Norma Talks. If you haven't listened to last Wednesday's, when I did the tarot card reading for this month, I was a little late, but that is a most unusual reading. It's all over the place. And all the astrologers are saying the same thing, and other people who are readers. And so I didn't necessarily know, but people have told me since, well, you're just saying what everyone else is saying. But it's I always say it's not the event that's important, it's how you handle the event, what you do with the event. So yes, there is a lot of changes that is happening, but at the same point, there's a lot of interesting things that are taking place and going on. So on that note, I'm just thank you for watching. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. I just want to say that. Blessings. Lots of love. Night now.